Hi, it's Mike Tripiano. This is not only 2025, this is 50 years after 1975. What happened that year? What happened that year in June? Well, my life changed. Steven Spielberg released what's considered the first blockbuster film, and it's called Jaws. I don't know about you, but I was there in the theater when it happened, and from that moment on, my life changed. Afterward, I had, let's just say, an adversarial relationship to water, be it the ocean. Jaws, for those of you who don't know, is about a killer great white shark. And I saw this film in the theater with my family when I was less than 10 years old. I was in the theater in St. Louis, Missouri, when that film came, and we learned about great white sharks. Who had ever heard of them? I guess we had heard of them. You didn't really think about them, though. We're in the middle of America. Suddenly, I'm thinking about sharks. Coincidentally, the next year, we were in Los Angeles, and I did not go in the ocean. But even before that, in St. Louis, we had a small swimming pool in the backyard, an above ground, vinyl. I'm less than 10 years old. I see this film. I'm terrified. I will not go in this pool because I think there's a shark in there. And this goes for all swimming pools. This goes for lakes, and most, as I've said, most certainly for the ocean. This was 50 years ago. This has lasted to this day. When I recently realized that it's been 50 years since this film came out, and yet every time I go in water, to this day, I hear that Jaws music, that amazing film score, that we hear the music and we know the shark is coming. Every time I go in water, be it ocean, very near the shore, by the way, if I do go in the ocean, a lake, even a mountain lake, even a swimming pool. I know it's irrational. You don't have to tell me. I know it. I can't help what pops in my head. Like the Buddha says, we cannot control our thoughts. They come and go. We don't have to get attached to them. The Buddha, by the way, I'm sure would be afraid of water if he had ever seen Jaws, especially in the theater when he was much too young. It occurred to me in the spring this year, this might very well be a widespread issue. I put it out on social media. This is my situation with Jaws and with water, and it still lasts to this day. Anybody else out there have this issue? Anybody want to talk about it on a podcast? Well, let me tell you, immediately I got responses. Yes, it affected me. I saw it much too young. Some people said I didn't even see it that young, but it still affected me. I'm still scared of water. Maybe I'll talk to those people later. But who I want to talk to first is people who, like me, were much too young and saw this film in the theater. Sense around, the full cinema experience. Everybody screaming, sound around, I forget what it's called, feel-orama, whatever it was called back then. Back when movies were great. The first person who responded to me was someone who I knew many years ago, barely, briefly, when I was auditioning and performing in New York, and I needed money, and had just started becoming a house painter and tangentially a handyman. Only because people had asked me, hey, do you do handyman work? And, never say no. And so I said, yes, I do. And then I got how-to books, and on the job, I figured out how to be a handyman. This is one of those people who I've known since the 90s. We lost contact. I did a handyman job for him. We reconnected on social media. He's in the theater, show business. So through those connections, he was recommended to me on social media. We reconnected. We had not spoken since I had done this 2-hour handyman job for him. He said, my God, Mike, I want to talk to you about Jaws and water and the whole catastrophe of it. I thought, great, let's get into it. So here is Peter Marino talking to me about Jaws. I'm excited to talk about it. It's the 50th anniversary. Can you believe it?
I did know that because I'm helping someone do press for their New York Fringe show, which is, I believe, called Jaws the Musical. To be fair, I've already seen Jaws the Musical, maybe more than once, at probably more than one Fringe festival. But I will always go to it, just like I went to The Machine is Broken, which is the Broadway play written by the son of
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw. I did not enjoy that experience.
I wondered about that.
There's no shark in it.
Right.
I don't care. I want to see a shark. I'm going for the shark. Lots of bantering, lots of drinking, anger.
Yeah, it seems like unless it's like a Pinter level of writing, that is a hard play to pull off.
A Pinter level of shark. There needs to be a shark. I want to see the broken shark. I don't care.
Well, Jaws blew my mind when I saw it. I was 8. My
Mm.
birthday's in July.
Oof.
I saw it June. So I was almost, no, I was 7. I was 7. I
Oh
was
my
almost,
gosh.
almost 8. Yeah. I always say this will be part of my memoir, Raised by Wolves.
So they willingly brought you to see this film.
Yeah. Years later,
Mm.
I'd
Mm.
say the last 5 years, because it did play in Berlin a few years ago. And I thought, all right, I'm going to try to see this on the big screen again. And I did. And I thought, let me look at the trailer. Maybe it wasn't a scary trailer. Maybe nobody knew. And I saw the original trailer on YouTube. Horrifying.
Horrifying. I mean, the artwork has a naked lady in it, which, like, you take the magnifying glass and just to see how much can I see of her boobs, and then figure out, like, oh, how big is the shark compared to the size of that lady? Like, try to do like fractions when you're 7 or 8. It was everywhere. It was a big. I mean, it's the first official summer blockbuster. Is that not correct?
I think, yeah.
I remember summers being very busy for movies. Like when we were kids, they used to have a Disney double feature every weekend, and it was a different cartoon matched with a different live action. And your parents would just drop you off at the movie theater, and you would be there for 4 hours, just stuffing your face and watching Disney cartoons.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Herbie the Love Bug, I saw that. Apple Dumpling Gang, the one with the guy who's a dog and a professor. The one with Don Knotts that's like half animated.
I love that I met you, I don't know, what was I in your apartment? A couple hours.
Yeah.
Then we reconnected on Facebook. But then all these years we've had this shared trauma. We had this bond we had no idea about. Okay, so I'm from the middle of America, suburbs. You're a New Yorker. You want to go into it?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Queens, New York, which is, for those who don't know, it's a borough. We have 5 boroughs of New York City, Manhattan being one, Queens being another, Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island. Some people think, oh, you grew up in Queens, so that means you grew up in Long Island, which is so not true. Long Island has lawns. We had concrete. We played stickball in the street and would have to wait for traffic to go by. I had an elevated train right outside of my bedroom window that went by once a day with goods. We had gangs. I was just telling a friend about when the movie The Lords of Flatbush came out. Flatbush is not that far from where I grew up. And we just decided we would also form a gang. And then we would ask the kids on the other side of the block if they would also like to start a gang so we could be rival gangs. And then, okay, we're going to be red bandanas, you're going to be green bandanas, and we're now a gang, and you can't come on our side of the block, and we can't come on yours. Taunting and ridiculous fights and things like that would break out. I also had a friend who was a bit older. So like when I was 10, when I saw Jaws, my friend, my neighbor down the block, he was 14. He was really into making movies. He had a camera, he had a projector in the basement. And so he would make these movies in the neighborhood, generally Star Trek themed movies. I got into the idea of movies and movie making because of this neighbor. There were quite a few theaters back then, but the Oasis movie theater was the one that we were able to walk to very easily. I did a little research. It's actually been around since the early 1900s, and it was a burlesque place that very quickly became a movie house. Really, really pretty inside. I saw some old photos and I was like, yes, that's what it looked like. So when Jaws came out, it was playing at the Oasis and I had to see that movie, but I was 10 years old. So how would I see that movie? I would sneak into that movie. Because again, back in those days, parents said, have a good day, and you just went out for the day, and they would not know what you did that day.
I think this is pre-PG-13.
It is pre-PG-13. It is a PG movie.
A straight-up PG movie.
Which also made it exciting. Just knowing that, look, part of it was the challenge of going to see it. That was the excitement. Maybe more than the actual movie. It was like, I got to do this thing. I feel like I went with a friend. I feel it's my friend Debbie, who was the sister of the filmmaker guy, but I'm not sure. I did a lot of stuff by myself when I was a kid.
You didn't ask your parents?
I did not ask my parents, but they knew I was obsessed because I used to take the newspaper every Sunday when we go to visit the grandparents, and I would go through the newspaper and look at all of the ads for the movies. I was obsessed with The Godfather because I thought it was about puppets, because that was the logo, was a puppet marionette. And I would color them in because it was black and white papers. I would redraw them. I'm sure I redrew the Jaws one a million times, but I only drew the shark. I never drew the naked girl. Felt like that was taboo. But my mom had the novel of Jaws by Peter Benchley in a drawer in the living room. I was interested because someone else's name was Peter. And when I was a kid, I didn't know any other people named Peter. And the only other Peter I knew about who was famous was Peter Sellers because the Pink Panther movies were popular. So I would find ways to sneak into that drawer and get that book out and just try to find a part that was horrifying. Mike, I was a weird kid. I was terrified of everything, especially disaster movies. And I would do everything I could to see every disaster movie I could. So anyway, I did decide to go see Jaws one summer afternoon. We had a pool in the backyard, which does sound like something you get in the suburbs, but weirdly, a lot of people in Queens have pools.
What part of Queens is this?
Glendale, Queens. Right on the border, actually, of Ridgewood and Glendale, right on the border. So anyway, saw the movie, horrified, especially the scene where like a head falls out of the bottom of a boat underwater.
I say I saw the movie, and that's true, but I saw it up until that point. And then I was freaking out so much they had to take me out of the theater.
Yeah, good parents, good.
So
I'm glad they listened to you.
I guess so. But I think it was mainly because other people were just like, get this kid out of here.
Well, that was the thing was there were a lot of very graphic things, like even just like when they find the body of the girl on the beach the next day, you know, there's a leg or whatever's there. But it was the jump scares. That's the thing that really got like the fact that like I could be so emotionally charged from one moment in a movie in a bad way. And that jump scare, that head popping out really, yeah, I mean, I can still see that. I can still see that part. And then when I watch it on TV now and I'm like, I can't wait for that part. My dad worked for Eastern Airlines. So I was kind of obsessed at JFK. So I was kind of obsessed with air travel as well. And of course I had to watch all those fucking airport movies where planes would explode in the air. Karen Black had to fly it. And then I wouldn't sleep. And then I would be, I don't want to go to bed. And then I would not be able to sleep. I was terrified of Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester, for some reason, just really creeped me out. And I would run into the living room and, it's, you know, so Uncle Fester's at the window. That's impossible. We live on the second floor. No, he climbs, you know. So I had a very active imagination. I brought that to the pool. I just could not go in the pool unless my dad was there because I knew he would save me from the shark that would come up through the ground in Queens specifically to eat me. This is absurd.
I do remember there was a James Bond film with Roger Moore around that time where they put him in a pool and they covered the pool with something and then they released sharks into the pool. So this was also in my consciousness, combined with thinking about the Jaws shark whenever I was in a pool. Like, where's the opening where the sharks are going to come?
Yes. Well, the trendy thing to do, this is funny, is they were all 4 foot above ground pools.
You know what? We had one of those. I forgot we had one.
Yeah, that was like a thing. It was a thing. Yeah, right? You install this big thing in your tiny backyard to use 3 months out of the year. The thing to do was you empty it out and then you take out the lining and then you dig a hole in the middle of the pool, of the ground, so that in the middle, it would be like 4.5 feet deep or 5 feet deep, you know, really giving you really a chance to really, you know, float if you're over 4 feet tall. And my dad wanted to do it. And I just thought, this is a terrible idea. It's going to make it easier for Jaws to come up through the ground. But I couldn't tell them any of this. I couldn't explain why I suddenly went from wanting to be in the pool 24/7 to barely wanting to be in the pool. Yeah, I would have admitted my guilt. Then we went to Universal Studios and we went on the tour of Universal, which Jaws is one of those places you stop by and the big mechanical shark jumps out of the water. That was all. Oh my God. Can we go on it again? Just to see this robot shark pop out of the water and pretend to attack the...
How many years after seeing the movie did you go to Universal Studios?
Probably 4.
Okay. We went the very next summer. We drove to LA from St. Louis. We took like 23 days. And then we had some kind of distant cousin or something out there. But then we went to Universal Studios. We took the tram ride. And I guess nobody researched what's on this tram ride?
Oh, no,
And who's sitting right by the water where the shark comes out of the water is yours truly a year later.
Damn. And you can't get off that tram. And it leans, it like the whole platform leans into the water. Oh, that is, yeah. But well, they set it up really nicely too. Like, oh, and now we're in the town of Amity, and looks like someone's enjoying a nice day of fishing. And there's some robot in a rowboat, and then the whole thing just capsizes. And then you see the fin on a track, I guess, in this 2-foot lagoon zooming towards you, and then the monster pops up.
Do you have any idea how long you were scared to go in the pool? You think after a month you were over it?
I would say I didn't swim much that summer. You know what? I would not go in the pool at night. Full stop. That used to be my favorite part, was going at night. Literally mom yelling out the kitchen window, 2 floors up. It's time to come in. Your fingers are pruning. Your lips are turning blue. That was my favorite, but I just put a full stop to that. I still fear sharks all the time. I'm a Rockaway Beach guy. I go as many times as I can in the summer. I love taking the ferry over there. It goes past JFK. I love it. Someone got bitten by a shark last summer on the leg. Just walking in, got bitten by a shark on the leg. And I was like, well, that doesn't happen very often. Turns out this lady who was bitten on the leg has been going to that beach every single day for years and years and years. So the statistics, I just started working with the statistics, and I was like, okay, she's been going all this time. Also, she's not dead, but still, she's been going all this time. It only happened now. What are the odds of it happening to me? I still am extremely cautious when going into the water. I am.
I hear you. I'm a little shocked in retrospect. We were in Puerto Rico. It's been a while now, 15 years ago or something. But I went out with a kayak tour, and then we got in the water and snorkeled around. In retrospect, I think, I can't believe I even did that. I think I felt because I was with a group, I thought, okay, together, if some sharks come, we can deal with it. I love finding out how so many people around the world are connected via this thread of this film. All these people I've known for years, and there will be more episodes coming. Thanks for listening.